Hello and good evening. It's Thursday and it's time for the Gatorade Duel races. My name is Sean, coming to you in Daytona International Speedway, the world centre of racing, to start Duel race number 1. A lot of unrest in these drivers, many sleepless nights, because they are all ready, determined to do this race, to guarantee them a spot for the biggest dance of them all, the Daytona 500 on Sunday. We already know from qualifying yesterday that we know that there are already two drivers that are already in the Daytona 500. That's the pole sitter Tony Stewart and the outside pole sitter Rusty Wallace. So them two know that they're in. But for the rest of the drivers, it's just an uncertainty. Race your way into the top 15 and you're in. And if you don't, you've got to rely on your averages time from your practice and your qualifying and to see if you have made the show. Certainly looking forward to these two races. It's going to be exciting no matter what. So let's unpause this and let's get the cars out for the first of two heat races. 28 cars are heading their way out onto the track. And while we do, let's have a look at the starting grid for the first race. There is a look of how all 28 drivers will look for the first dual race. Now, just on the bottom there, you'll see ways to race their way into the Daytona 500 and a lot of points to take out from it. Drivers that qualify first and second are guaranteed the front row. So we already know Tony Stewart and Rusty Wallace are in no matter what. They can use this race as a test session. Drivers finishing in the top 15 in both dual races, they will be all in the show. If the pole sitter finishes outside the top 15, then the top 14 are in, because like I says, we already know where one driver is going to be starting, and that is the guy that we're looking at, Tony Stewart. Last 12 spots are sorted by the fastest average time from their practice session and their qualifying times. And the last one is the Gatorade Dual races are 30 laps long. So hopefully that is you now sorted in terms of how you race their way into the 500. Meanwhile, pace car pulls into the pit lane. Tony Stewart will bring them down. The first dual race is underway. Now, the reason why we saw Kevin LePage there starting on the outside pole for dual race number 1, he finished third fastest in the qualifying, and Ricky Rudd finished 5th fastest. So therefore, that's why whoever finishes in the odd numbered positions get to race in heat number 1, and whoever qualified in the even position numbers, they will be in heat race number 2. Look at them, a sea of colour all through their way into turn 3 for the first time. Here comes Ricky Rudd for the Wood Brothers Racing Ford, and he will power his way into the lead. Now, we saw from Ricky Rudd there, his time was so quick in practice. If he doesn't make the top 15, he's pretty much guaranteed to be in the spot, because his time was actually up there in terms of like the average time. So Ricky Rudd, I don't think he should be too much of a concern. He should be in it already, as well as the guy that's now leading the race, ageless Morgan Shepherd. He had the 14th fastest time in practice, and he had like the 10th fastest time in the 9th practice or whatever in qualifying. So he had a really fast average time. So I think it's safe to say that Morgan Shepherd is also in the 500. But like I says, there's always a bit of uncertainty around these qualifying races. Boris said the rookie now goes to the point. Now that we need to talk about, are we going to go 4 wide? I see Stanton Barrett. to hold it, lads. Hold it. Keep it together. I don't think they are. They're going to be wrecking, aren't they? They're 4 wide for second spot. And we're on lap number 3. Jimmy Johnson. Stanton Barrett still in the middle. Casey Mears. Oh, and they're just holding on. Oh, look at Barrett there. Casey Mears has got nowhere to go. Casey Mears literally has nowhere to go. And there's contact. And into the wall goes Waltrip. Rudd gets involved. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there from Jeremy Mayfield. And caution is out already on lap number 3. And, you know, racing free ride around here is certainly not a good idea. And it's what happened already as well to Casey Mears and to Michael Waltrip. Has the pace car come out on the track? Yes, indeed he has. And now they're all just going to slow down, hopefully not cause an accident during the caution. So they already, very early on, we've got our first caution. Let's take a look at what happened. Desperation, isn't it? This is just drivers that are trying to race their way into the Daytona 500. They're going to try and do any way to try and race their way in it. And I mean, going 4 wide this early on, it's definitely not on. But as you can see there, you know, Casey Mears got squeezed from the 92 of Stanton Barrett. Nowhere for Michael Waltrip to go. Morgan Shepherd just spins the 41 around. Does Ricky Rod gain a little bit of contact? Yeah, he slightly does. Tony Stewart, Kevin LePage, Marlon. And then here comes Jeremy Mayfield. He couldn't react in time, just went into the 15 machine. And yeah, so only there was just about slightly, 4 cars involved in that there. But again, bit kind of reckless from the 92. There was no need to go free ride that early on in the race. Let's ride here with Michael Waltrip in the Napa Chevrolet. You see just the 92 just squeezing the 41. You know, just run out of real estate. Yeah, uncalled for from Stanton Barrett there, really. And this is from Casey Mears' view. You can just see Stanton just slightly going up and up and up. And then the 2 make contact and around he goes. And here we go from Morgan's view. You just see the 92 just slightly going up on Casey. Casey wasn't going to back down because there was another 20 cars behind. Nearly gets into the side of Kenny Wallace's Alan's Dream Machine. Well, you rejoin us then as we're going to go back to the green flag. Pace car lights are off on the machine. So we are going to go back to some green flag conditions as we go then. So it is the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. He's had a nightmare of it during the speed week. So he's desperate to race his way into the top 15. But he is leading the pack. Ken Schrader in second. Stanton Barrett there, the bad guy and all of that. Now he is sitting third. Bobby Hamilton Jr. fourth. Terry Labonte fifth. His teammate Brian Vickers in sixth. We'll turn the camera over. Then seventh is Boris Said. Eighth is Dave Blaney. So Dave's actually done quite well to get up to eighth place. Randy LaJoy in ninth, and Jamie McMurray rounds out your top 10. But the flagman raised the green flag. We're back underway. And we're on lap number 8 out of 30. Schrader went high. Barrett went low. And looks like Barrett is going to go into the lead with the help of the 32 machine of Bobby Hamilton Jr. And now Schrader ducks down low. So Jimmy Johnson is going to get help from his teammate, Terry Labonte. Cars just all fanning out there. You can see the 3 drivers at the back, the 41, the 19 and the 15, who were involved in that lap 3 accident. But now let's put Bobby Labonte into the lead. Bobby, who was sort of okay in qualifying, didn't have a good qualifying time, so he probably has to race his way in. Ken Schrader now looks to the inside, side by side, through the first 7-8 rows, if you will. Luckily, no driver's going to go free ride racing. Oh, are they? Yes, now, just say that there. As you can see there, Brian Vickers making the move underneath Terry Labonte. Now we're going to see some uncertainty, like drivers like Randy LaJoy in car 64. He needs to race his way in, as well as the 50 of Jimmy Spencer, as well as the rookie number 5 of Kyle Busch. He didn't have a good practice session or a good qualifying time, so he needs to race his way literally into the top 15, or else he might not make the show. You see that Tony Stewart, the poster at the back end of the field there, so he's doing some smart racing there, because now they're all gone free wide up ahead, and it looks like it is that the 64 of Randy LaJoy to the lead? Yes, indeed it is. So Randy LaJoy for Mach 1 Motorsports, and you can see his teammate Chad Chaffin in the 34 behind Jimmy Spencer in the 50 machine. Also, Kevin LePage has also fallen way down the order too. Look at that, Kevin LePage. He's actually copped up a bit of damage on his poker Dodge. So I don't know what happened to him, but he's slowing down. Behind there is Morgan Shepherd. Let's ride on board then with Morgan Shepherd, just to see what he's actually seeing. He's actually doing a smart race there. He's just having himself a bit of a gap between the other cars that are racing free wide ahead of him. There's Mike Wallace in the number 4 in the Lucas Morgan McLuhan Motorsports Chevrolet. So yeah, Morgan's actually doing quite a smart thing, just being at the back of the pack. It's no time to panic just yet. Here comes Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement. He's going to race his way up into the lead. And there's the 34 of Chad Chaffin. Before I was just about to see there, that corner right there where the cars had just come out of turn 4 was a problem in the Bud shootout. I'm just wondering if it's going to be a problem yet again for this, for both the dual races here. Side by side for the lead. The 07 of Dave Blaney in the middle. Jimmy Spencer, Chad Chaffin. Don't go forward abreast. We saw what happened on lap 3. It didn't work. Yeah, and they set it out to free wide, so that's good. And you can see Morgan Shepherd closing on the back of this lead pack. But will he back out of it, though? Yeah, he just looks like he's slightly just backing out. Yeah, so Morgan's actually doing a really smart race here. He's doing some smart tactics. He's just staying there, just providing himself a bit of a gap behind the whole pack of cars. Because it is still early on in the race. We're on lap 13. We're coming up to lap 13 out of 30. So we're not way past the half distance just yet. But Chad Chaffin will lead the lap. Now here comes Kenny Wallace in the Aaron's Dream Machine. The gold number 0 for Michael Waltrip Racing. Behind him, Casey Kane. He has to probably race his way into the 500. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. in car number 8. Ricky Rudd, who was involved in the lap 3 accident. Sterling Marlin in number 40. Behind Ricky. Oh, and you got Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch. Oh, Busch there just gets into line. I think Jimmy Johnson just gave him a lot of leeway there. So 1 lap to go and then we're into the second half of the race. Casey Kane wants the lead now for Evernham Motorsports. His teammate, he's got all 3 of his teammates actually, all 2 of his teammates in this race. Bill Elliott, who's stuck in the middle. The black and yellow Stanley Dodge, number 91, right behind the 17 of Matt Kenseth, who probably has to race his way into the 500. Well, he might not have. He actually had the second quickest time in practice, so that might actually save him. But he didn't have a good qualifying time. But like I says, his practice time, he was second overall, it might get him into the race, providing if he's not in, well, if he's in the top 15, he's in no matter what. But outside, it's pretty close, actually. It might be very, very close. Now on to lap 15. We're into the second half of the race. And here comes Junior, Junebug, number 8, the Budweiser Chevrolet. The crowd is going to go mental to see that red Chevrolet into the lead with some good help there from the 21 of Ricky Rudd. See a couple of Dodgers in the middle there. The 42 of Jamie McMurray, followed by the 09 of Johnny Sauter. Sauter has to race his way into the 500 too, because his average time is not quick enough. So he's got to rely on him getting in the top 15. Still Morgan Shepherd at the back of the pack there, pulling himself a little gap behind this whole train of cars that are free wide. into the second half of the race now as we get away from Mr. Excitement and look at the number 8 machine of Dale Earnhardt Jr. His teammate, Michael Waltrip, was involved in that wreck on lap 3. Ricky Rudd trying to stick a nose underneath the 8 machine. Oh, and Sterling Marlin got a little wiggle in the middle of turn 2, kept it together. But what a save that was there. That could have been disastrous for Sterling Marlin. He could have took a whole load of cars out. He did get loose in the middle of turn 2. And look, there's a little bit of separation up at the front. Looks like they all keep it green. So that's all good to see. Kane led that lap into the second half of the race now. We're on to lap 17 out of 30. Kane leads. Junior in second place. The man on the bubble in position 15 at the minute. Yes, Tony Stewart is... Where did he cross the line? He crossed the line in position number 12. The guy on the bubble is this guy, Mike Wallace, in the number 4 Chevrolet. He is... Well, the last time by, he came across the line in 15th. He's not going to be 15 for much longer. He's going to be well inside it there. Ricky Rudd now tries to have a look on the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Thinks better of it. Just sticks in behind him. This is some great racing here, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying this race. Don't forget, give this race a thumbs up and a like on this whole video. Still trying to separate who is going to start the first 15 rows on the inside for Sunday's Daytona 500. Nerves will be going through each one of these drivers because they want to get through it. Now, Sterling Marlin goes back into the lead. Who had that hair-raising moment just a couple of laps ago. Look at Ken Schrader then, going right to the middle to the bottom. Kyle Busch still at the back, middle of the pack, right in at the tail end of the field. And you've got the two Macron boys working together, the 34 and the 64. Looks like 10-4 has not been a danger corner so far. As here comes the pole setter, Tony Stewart. He works his way into the inside now. And he's getting some help from Mike Wallace in the 4 car. Now, who was the guy that was 15th this time by? It was the 92 car of Stanton Barrett. The guy that caused the lap 3 accident. He is currently showing in the 15th spot. So as it ends right now, he will be in the show. Probably not to the like of some of the fans that caused it there. And again, look at the 89. The green Dodge. Morgan Shepherd there. Just hanging at the back of the pack. Just waiting for things to all unfold. Now, they're actually coming up on lap traffic. I just heard the car engine. I'm wondering if that could be the 15 or the 41 as Tony Stewart now goes to the lead. Did he cross the line in first place? Doesn't say. No, it said position 2. So who are they actually catching up with? They are catching up with Michael Waltrip. So lap traffic is going to cause an issue here. As we're going to come by with 10 laps to go this time by. And they're going to have to deal with some lap traffic. Tony Stewart there. Oh, they're going to go 4 wide again. Oh, that's so close for the top 3 up ahead. Mike Wallace looks like he's going to lead the thing. Oh, this could be problematic here. This could be problematic. There goes Michael Waltrip across the line. They're going to go 4 wide again. And oh, they're all going on the infield and they're wrecking in front. Terry Labonte spins right in front of the field. And there's the big one. Hard hint back there from Jimmy Johnson. Look at the amount of cars involved. That is a car park right there. That is a lot of drivers involved. Casey Kane, Kyle Busch, Barrett, Labonte, Sauter, Vickers, McMurray, Kenseth, Chaffin, Wallace, LaJoy, all involved. Oh, look at the damage there to Stanton Barrett's machine. And Kyle Busch. I think there's a bit of damage there too on... Yes, there's some driver's side damage on Dale Earnhardt Jr. And look who was all unscathed in all that accident. Morgan Shepherd. The smart tactic that he did, it's paid off. Caution is out with just a few laps to go. And there was some multiple drivers involved. We're going to have to break it all down and see what happened. Here we go. So, yeah, they were going 4 wide here. It was just drivers trying to react how to get by the slow car of Michael Waltrip. This was all what it was caused by. And there was contact there between the 4 and the 44. The 50 went down too. 50 then lost control. You see Jimmy Johnson, again, that's not really Teddy's fault. He was losing the car anyways, and then the car slid back on the track. Nothing that Teddy could have done. I tell you what, Dave Blaney did exceptionally well just to not get involved. But look, Dale Jr.'s in the wall. Casey Kane is also in the wall. And look at that, all that smoke, all the drivers, they can't see a thing because of all the smoke that's all bellowing out there. But look at that. That must be like a good 12, 13 cars involved in that accident. A lot of good race cars involved, including Jimmy Johnson, that didn't really need it because I think his time, it's very close between, if he doesn't make the top 15, it is super, super close if he can actually make the show or not. But a load of drivers involved. That is a very expensive accident right there. So on board with Jimmy McMurray, this is how he saw it there. And this is from Terry Labonte's view. It was coming down with less than 10 laps to go. You know, it's friendship's out the window. If you go for it, if there's a gap, you go for it, and that's what he did. Oh, what a save from Dave, though. Just look, 17, 64, 00, 34, 42. A lot of drivers involved. A lot of damage there to Johnny Sauter's car, as well as Jimmy Johnson's car, and Kyle Busch too. And this is again from Morgan Shepherd. He knew it was go time. How does he get through this? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Morgan. Join us then, coming towards the closure of the first Gatorade Duel race. The green flag will pop out with exactly 5 laps to go. Mike Wallace is in the lead. Looks like the car is perfectly fine. It doesn't look any damage whatsoever that Terry and him got involved in. Dave Blaney, what a miraculous save he did. He is in position 2. Tony Stewart, the guaranteed pole sitter, in number 3. 4 for Sterling Marlin. 5th is Bobby Hamilton Jr. Ken Schrader 6th. Boris said 7th. Ricky Rudd in 8th. Now Michael Waltrip, he's currently running 24th. He's a lap down, but he's got a badly damaged car. Elliott Shepherd rounds out the top 10. Position 15 holds on by Kyle Busch. If he can hold on for 5 more laps, he is in the Daytona 500. But we are getting back to green flag. Flagman waves it. We're underway again. 5 more laps to go. Now, I think I just saw there Bill Elliott, and I think they're actually trying to get by the slower car of Michael Waltrip, which indeed he has. And here comes Kevin LePage in the 37 machine. Here he comes then. He's trying to go through a whole load of battered race cars. Wrong camera view actually there. Yeah, you can see Kyle Busch is actually falling back. Jimmy McMurray trying to have a look on the inside of Johnny Sauter. Here comes Casey Mears. He's working his way out through the field, as well as Jimmy McMurray. Johnny Sauter's car looks badly damaged. Jeremy Mayfield, Chad Chaffin. He's trying to overtake some of these slow cars as well. The slow cars, I mean the damaged cars. Currently running in position 21 at the minute. So, well, he's up to 19th place. So he must have gained a couple of spots. That was on Kyle Busch. And I mean, by the looks of it, Kyle Busch's car is too badly damaged. He might not make the show. And neither will Jimmy Spencer, because he's also running a lap down in position 26. So Chad Chaffin makes a move on the inside of Johnny Sauter. We're just trying to look our way through who is currently in position 15 at the minute. And it is currently holded by... Who was position 15 at the time? Oh, we don't know. Anyway, back to the action. Bobby Hamilton Jr. takes the lead as we've got 3 more laps of racing to go. Got some free wide racing there between the 2 Chip Ganassi boys and Brian Vickers. Jamie crossed the line in P14. Position 15 is held by Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is in the race no matter what, even though he's got a lot of damage to his Budweiser Chevrolet. But the main focus here is we should be looking up front. And Mike Wallace has got some great help from Boris Said in the 36 machine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's about 10 cars here battling for the lead as we've got 2 laps to go. Lap 29 out of 30. Like I said, 2 more laps to go. Flagman's going to be waving the white flag this time by. This is to determine who, if it's not going to be Tony Stewart that's going to win race, it's going to be determined who will win who was going to win this race, barring Tony Stewart, who will start behind Tony in Sunday's race. It's safe to say if they hold on for where it is, they are in the show no matter what. Look at the gang of cars right behind Jamie McMurray. You've got Kevin LePage in position 12, Casey Mears in 13th, 14th with Brian Vickers, and Chad Chaffin has just passed Earnhardt Jr. So Chad Chaffin could be in the main race come Sunday. Now let's get back to Mike Wallace here. White flag is out for these leaders, and look at the lead that Mike Wallace has. Here comes Bobby Hamilton Jr. 3 wide for 3rd place. Look at the Schwann's dodge of Ken Schrader. And the 07 of Dave Blaney, he wants to make it 3 wide. Here comes Tony Stewart. He dives down low. We're going to have a good close battle looking for position 15. But it looks like it's going to be a surprise winner for the Gatorade Duel Race number 1. It's going to be Mike Wallace, unless Ricky Rudd has a great turn out of 4. Looks like he's not. Mike Wallace is going to start P3 for the Daytona 500. Let's see where Chad Chaffin is there. He's currently running in 15th position. He crosses the line in 13th. So he's gained positions. Who came up 15th? It was this guy, Brian Vickers. So Brian Vickers finished in 15th position. He is the last driver to automatically race his way into the Daytona 500. But what a surprise there. Mike Wallace, your winner. So here is confirmation then of the Gatorade Duel Race 1 results. Mike Wallace there. What a surprise. I mean, that's a very surprising top 10, I have to say. Mike Wallace winning the first race. So he is going to guarantee himself position number 3 behind the pole sitter Tony Stewart. Bobby Hamilton will start 5th. Ricky Rudd will start 7th. Boris Said 4th place. Ken Schrader 5th. Sterling Marlin, Dave Blaney, Tony Stewart. Like I says, it was a test session for him. So P8, he'll take that. Bill Elliott and Morgan Shepherd completing the top 10. They are in. Jamie McMurray is also in. Kevin LePage is also in. Chad Chaffin, he must have started like deep in the field to get into P13. But what a fairy tale story that was there. Chad Chaffin, he literally had to race his way in. He didn't have a good practice time. He didn't have a good qualifying time. But P13, he's in the 500. Casey Mears 14th. Brian Vickers completing the last of the 15 drivers that are already in, well, automatically in. Jeremy Mayfield, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Taylor Labonte, Randy LaJoy, Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch, Kane, Waltrip, Wallace, Spencer, Johnson, and Barrett. They'll have to have their fingers crossed to see if any of them will be the fastest 12 down to their qualifying and their practice time. So that is race 1 complete. We'll be back in a couple of adverts time where we'll get race 2 underway.
It's all about learning to take care of your car the best way you can. Because when you really think about it, putting quality parts on your car is one of the smartest things you can do. That's why I love Napa so much. Every Napa part is made to meet or exceed the industry's highest standards. Take oil filters, for example. Did you know that a Napa Gold oil filter can catch up to 45% more dirt than your typical oil filter? Now let's just analyze those numbers.
Man, I love restrictor plates. Napa, get the good stuff.
Drivers ready!
Hey, wait, whoa. What are we racing for anyway?
For fun? How about let's race for a Coke? Go! Out the road, buddy. Harvick, come on.
Got some horsepower, Bobby. Come on, DJ, get out of the way.
Going down, Walter.
Sorry, Kyle.
No problem.
I just wrecked in turn 5. Last lap.
Nice race, guys. Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, we need you in the pits. Oh, dang. Sorry about your little car, Tony.
Welcome back then to the World Center race in Daytona International Speedway. Heat race number 1 was an absolute cracker. Let's see if heat race number 2 can live up to its expectations. Rusty Wallace, we already said about Tony Stewart. He knows where he's going to be starting. It's a test session for him, but he's going to start on pole position. Jeff Burton in the 31 machine will start second. Bobby Labonte will start third. And I think that might be Ryan Newman, I think it is. Right behind them. So without further ado, let's get these cars underway. Their second 28 vehicles that's going to make their way onto the 2.5 mile an hour track. So we've already got 15 drivers already in. Let's see who are going to be the other 15 drivers as we look at the starting grid. How the 28 car grid looks for Gatorade Duel Race number 2. Penske's have been looking very, very quick. Can they keep the form up? Or will we see a surprise like we did with Mike Wallace in the first race, getting the win? However, anyway, again, another 27 nervous drivers are on the grid. One not so nervous because he knows where he's going to be starting. As we're looking at him right now as he starts to take the green flag, we're underway for Duel Race number 2. Now, we did see going 4 wide is not a good idea early on. You know, it's not really desperation time when you are going 4 wide on lap 3 like Stanton Barrett did. As the cars, look at them all starting fanning out. 2 wide, 3 wide and all that. Cars trying to go at the inside. But as what we saw in a few races, the inside is not necessarily the best line. The middle or the outside could be your best friend at the minute. And looks like it's going to be Rusty's teammate, Ryan Newman, that's going to be leading lap 1, who started P4 on the grid. One driver that really needs to be in the top 15 is this man right here. And what an absolute shock this will be if he doesn't make the Daytona 500. Mark Martin had the 3rd slowest time in practice. He had the slowest time in qualifying. He needs to be in the top 15. His other drivers could be in danger too. The 97 of Kurt Busch and Greg Biffle as well. So a couple of Roush Racing guys are in a spot of bother. As looks like Brian Newman might lead lap number 2 as well. Or will Scott Riggs have something to say in that Valvoline Chevrolet? Dives down low, got some help with Elliott Sadler in the M&M's Ford. And his M&M's teammate, Dale Jarrett, there is actually side by side with him going into turn 1 as we start lap number 3. The 51 machine, Stuart Kirby at the back of the field. Take that back. Now it is Travis Quapple. Looks like they're going to go 4 wide in the back though, however. Mike Skinner. Now we saw what happened. We saw what happened in the first race. Going 4 wide is not a good idea. And Mark very wisely backed out of it. See, that's what you call experience right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Mark oozes a load of experience. Looks like Scott Riggs is going to be leading this lap. He crosses the line, does he? No, he finished. He was in second place. It looks like Ryan Newman led the lap. And here comes Scott Wimmer through the middle. There is a look at all 28 drivers all in one camera shot. Helmy Sadler in the Peak Fitness Ford at the tail end of the field now, as Scott Riggs leaning, trying to get a side draft on the 22 of Scott Wimmer. Now Elliott Sadler's going to have his M&M Ford right into there, or less Jason Leffler might have something to say. No, he just sticks in just behind the 38. So is Scott Riggs going to lead that lap? Indeed he does, only just. Sadler second, Wimmer third, and looks like Leffler crossed the line in fourth position. Now another driver that could be in danger too, another in a big team, is this guy right here, the rookie Carl Edwards. And we saw how impressive he was in the Bud Shootout. He probably might have to race his way into the top 15, but his times are quite comparatively close in terms of average times. It is really very close. It's like, I'm talking about like thousandths of a second separating like a good 20 or so drivers, and he's one of them. You can actually dive to the inside now. Actually, is he going to stay in the middle, or is he going to go right to the inside? Yeah, he's going to stick in behind Helmy Sadler here. Here comes Martin Truex Jr., the number 1 machine, followed behind by Mike Bliss and Johnny Nemechek, and Jeff Gordon is also there too in the 24 machine, followed behind Jerry Robertson, as Truex sticks his DEI Chevrolet to the inside of the 11 machine. Looks like we're all clean and green so far, as we're going into lap number 7. Mike Bliss thinking about looking on the inside of the 1 car, but just sticks in behind it. Don't forget that 0 car is a 2004 model. They're not too keen on the 2005 model. Joe Nemechek there. Kyle Petty's working his way through the middle, as well as Greg Biffle. Biffle has to race his way into the 500. So if he doesn't make the top 15, he could not be in the big show, as well as Mark Martin. Speaking of which, where is Mark Martin, who actually crossed the line in 15th place? Who crossed in 15th place? It was Bobby Labonte. Now, where is Rusty Wallace in all of that? Rusty is right behind him. So at the moment, it would currently stand as in P2, as there's a little bit of something must have happened for Jason Leffler to be totally clear of the pack, as Mike Bliss and Dale Jarrett got into each other there. That was a bit interesting. That was very interesting there between the 88 and the 0. I don't know what Mike Bliss or Dale Jarrett did to Bliss to make him nearly go up on him and cause a big wreck. So Leffler with a commanding lead at the minute, but it could get gobbled up by the aggressive Bliss, and Nemechek's on the inside. Kyle Petty still in the middle. Derek Cope in the 55 machine. Surprised at how quick he was in practice, but not quick in qualifying. Jeff Burton's at the back of the field. If he doesn't make the top 15, I think he will be in the show no matter what. He was a very fast driver in practice and fast in qualifying. So Leffler's actually still doing a great job, still leading the field. Bliss in second, and then it's anyone's guess for third on back, as Bliss now goes to the inside of Leffler, and he will take the lead. Coming up then to lap 10. Looks like we're all good here so far. Jerry Robertson in the 78 Furniture Row machine. The first car on the inside. Oh, Kyle Petty, Martin Truex. That's a bit iffy. Oh, they're 4 wide. We saw what happened when they went 4 wide in race 1. It didn't really work. Oh, they're 4 wide across the tri-oval. They're still 4 wide. Look at this. Yeah, who's that in the middle? You got Truex in the middle, Cope. You got Kevin Harvick there too. He has to race his way in. He can. Oh, there they go. There they go. They're wrecking on the backstretch. Caution is out. And Stuart Kirby's got a bit of damage. Jeff Green is also involved. Oh, Derek just missing the recovering Stuart Kirby. But, I mean, they raced for 4 wide for so long. Who's going to be crossing the line to lead as the caution comes out? Is it Bliss or is it Leffler? It will be Leffler. Leffler's got a really fast car, hasn't he? He's really quick. So the cars are all going to slow down. And let's have a look at the first replay to bring out, well, what happened. So we're looking here at a replay to see what happened to, for the yellow flag to come out. Again, it was just what happened in the first race. You go 4 wide. There's going to be some contact now. What happens here? Oh, Gordon and Cope, they kind of stuck together. Yeah, that's a tricky one now. There was just there was like so little space to. Yeah, there's the contact there. John Andretti in the 14, but that was so close there. It was just like cars stuck together. Cars spinning in avoidance there. It looks like Jeff Green was the one that was ended up being badly affected in this whole thing. But it was so close. There was so tight racing at about 195 miles an hour. It was just a case of maybe desperation for some of these drivers. Even though there was still plenty of laps still to go, just missing the 51 does Derek Cope. Let's see it then from Kevin Harvick's view. Does anyone go down on what? Does Cope go up? That's it's just very close racing, and it's just unfortunate a crash happened. And this is on board with Jeff Green, who was affected a lot in this accident. Carl Edwards just ahead, Mike Skinner beside. Yeah, Kurt Busch. There's contact with him and John Andretti. And there's Stuart Kirby. It's not what Kurt Busch needs. Kurt Busch did not need that accident because he didn't have a good practice or a qualifying time. So this could actually make Kurt Busch not make the 500. Getting back to some green flag conditions. Also, just a note here, the pace cars actually changed. There was a problem with the other car that was leading the hunt. They had like a fuel line problem or fuel leak that was coming out there. So they've actually changed pace cars there. So quite embarrassing then for the NASCAR crew. Have to sort that out if that car is going to be out for Sunday's race. But anyway, we go back to the green flag. We're going to be on lap 15 out of 30. So exactly halfway distance then as we go into the second half of the race. Jason Leffler leads the race. Mike Bliss in second. Then in third place is Greg Biffle, who has to race his way in. Jerry Robertson in fourth. Nemechek in fifth. Kyle Petty, Dale Jarrett, his teammate Elliott Sadler in eighth. Scott Riggs and Jeff Gordon completes the top 10. Mark Martin, he is desperate to get into the race. He's in position 12. And the man on the bubble right now is Robbie Gordon, the Jim Beams Chevrolet, currently running in 15th place. So he is on the bubble. As the pace car, well, the new pace car pulls into the pits. We're getting back to green flag racing. So a few of these guys here that are trying to race their way in is up at the field. Biffle, Petty, Martin are all up there as well. But the bad thing is, though, is with Kurt Busch being involved in that accident, is his car fast enough? Well, he's actually gaining some spots. He's passing a couple of drivers. He's passed Edwards. He's passed John Andretti too. So maybe Kurt Busch can actually just, get up there. But he is starting to fall back a little bit as Truex has a look on the inside. Anyway, back up front with the lead. And who's that going to be challenging for the lead? It's Jerry Robertson. Jerry Robertson then going to take the lead as we're into the second half of the race right now. Jeff Gordon, the first car in the middle. So finally, someone has actually put a challenge to Jason Leffler, who was kind of dominant out in front. And it's the surprise entrant, the number 78 of Jerry Robertson. Kyle Petty with a good help. Dale Jarrett too. Some crafty veterans in NASCAR sort of like working together. Closely followed by Jeff Gordon and Robbie Gordon behind him. The two Gordon, not brothers of that. Looks like Leffler's going to return the favour and he's going to go back into the lead. There was some good help from the Zero machine. Oh, don't go 4 wide again, lads. Do not go 4 wide again. We saw what happened not long ago. They're going to try and go 4 wide. Sort it out. Sort it out. They've just about did. And look who's there. Position in, well, who's that in like 4th or 5th position? The number 6, Viagra Ford. Mark Martin, like I says, he has to race his way in. Oh, I tell you what, Mike Skinner has been really aggressive here at the minute there. He nearly bumped drafting, well, he's side drafting with Travis Quapple. And they're 4 wide again. Yes, they are going 4 wide again, isn't it? Bliss in the middle. Riggs again. Leffler on high on the outside. Look at this now. Mark Martin's going to go for the lead. Look at them. Still going 4 wide. They went 4 wide off of turn 2 and an accident happened. Oh, please don't wreck. Please don't wreck. Unless now Martin now leads and they're still going 4 wide without wrecking. Oh, look at Riggs and Wimmer. They're beating and banging on each other, man. God, it's like desperation here. We don't even have less than 10 laps to go and they're still 4 wide. Oh, Wimmer may have got tapped from behind. Slides up and takes the lead. But they're still 4 wide. No, they're going to make it 5 wide. And no, and now they're wrecking. They're wrecking. Riggs is involved. I thought Bobby Labonte was going to make it 5 wide then, going across. Watch out, drivers. Oh, goodness me. Deary, deary, deary me. And that could have been a whole lot worse there. Looks like Scott Riggs and Nemechek, the 2 teammates, looked like they were involved in that wreck. They're all racing back to the caution flag. Oh no, I just seen the damage on the number 6 machine. There's a lot of damage on Mark Martin's Viagra Ford. He might not make the 500. Oh, he's got right side damage, left side damage. Yeah, he must have got squeezed up into the wall. So caution is out. We're on lap 20. And yeah, I think Mark Martin's chances of making the 500 may just be gone up in smoke. So this is from the Goodyear blimp. Now, let's see. Dale Jarrett just sort of... Yeah, Dale Jarrett got into Hermie Sadler and Hermie went into Scott. I tell you what, they did great there just to miss that. Bobby Labonte also looked like he was slightly infected in that accident. And then Hermie comes back onto the track. They were going to go 5 wide. Bobby was making it 5 wide across the start-finish line. Then he just gets into Dale Jarrett. Jarrett gets into Sadler. Then he bounces off of Sadler into Riggs. And there you can see, yeah, Mark Martin, Kyle Petty was also involved. Jerry Robertson looks like he may have just slowed down in time just to miss it all. Or Travis Quapple and nearly got into Mike Bliss. Sadler goes through. But yeah, that is huge as well. Yeah, and Nemechek just spins his teammate around. And then here comes the second pack. You know, just avoiding it. There goes Stuart Kirby. John Andretti just missing Scott Riggs' Chevrolet. That could have been an awful accident. But yeah, I think any chances of Mark Martin making the 500 now are completely and utterly shattered. Let's ride on board with Mike Bliss there. The absolute madness that ensued to cause this second accident. We're riding on board with John Andretti, who was currently who came across the line in 25th position, just went by Kurt Busch. There's a wreck that happens in front, and just watch this. Where's Scott Riggs? Where is he? Oh! And this is from Joe Nemechek's view. Yeah, there's the contact. Oh, he was actually trying to get through it there. He got through it, but then he just clipped his teammate. Welcome back then. It's been a very hectic Gatorade dual races, I can tell you that for sure. We're going to go back to the green flag. coming to lap 24 out of 30. So we're going to have at least 7 laps of racing still to go with us. Hermie Sadler leads the field. Scott Rimmer in second place. Hopefully them two will have sorted out their differences and try and go into to race now. Third place is Bobby Labonte, the culprit that started the big wreck not too long ago. Jeff Gordon 4th, Robbie Gordon 5th, Kevin Harvick in 6th, Ryan Newman in 7th, Rusty Wallace in 8th, Martin Truex Jr. in 9th, and Jeff Burton completes the top 10. The man currently sitting on the bubble right now is Jerry Robertson in 15th position. As Hermie gets the car, the field get going again. 7 laps of racing to go. He's actually made a great start. Oh, Robbie's going to make a move to the inside of Jeff. Bobby's going to make a move to the inside of Scott Wimmer. And Kevin Harvick is also there too. Where is Mark Martin now? Where is Mark Martin? Is his car okay? Yeah, he's just strangling at the back here in 26th position along with his teammates Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards and Kurt Busch and all that too. And then you've got the 2 teammates at MB strangling at the back end of the field. There they are. Here they are. They're working together. Bobby Labonte is now taking over the lead. Oh, God, please don't, for the love of God, don't go 4 wide. Here comes Robbie Gordon to the inside. Robbie has been so fast during Daytona Speed Weeks. Kevin Harvick has been the complete opposite. And look at him, he's actually going to fight for the lead. Don't forget, whoever wins this race, pardon if it's not Rusty Wallace, whoever wins this race is going to start on the outside. He's going to start in the outside on the 2nd row for Sunday's race. As Robbie Gordon puts his car into the lead. Like I said, Robbie has been super fast around Daytona Speed Weeks. Got a good practice time in, got a superb qualifying time in and all. He's pretty much all but safe in the 500. Now, who is the man on the bubble? As we've got now we're coming down to 5 laps to go. Who is on the bubble? It's this guy, Jason Leffler. Jason Leffler is on the bubble. As we look at Mike Skinner, all these drivers here are safe. They just don't need to wreck. That's all they need to do. They don't need to wreck. If they don't wreck, they're in. And look who's also there too. And I mean, we haven't even talked a lot about, we did talk a little bit about him, who is also slow in practice. The 77 machine of Travis Kroppel. He's the 3rd entrant in the Paskey Jasper team. His other 2 teammates are in this lead battle here too. And there he is in 14th position. Look at Jason Leffler. He's actually battling up here now too. So he's caught up now. We've got all 15 drivers here battling for the lead as Robbie Gordon looks down low. Jeff Gordon in 3rd. Jeff Burton in 4th. The cars are on the backstretch then. We've got less than 5 laps to go. Stuart Kirby in 16th place. Can't really keep up to this gap, to this lead battle right here. We're going to have 3 laps to go this time. Here comes Sadler to the inside. He sticks his forward underneath Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte. He's got some good help too with the 31 of Jeff Burton and the 38 of Elliott Sadler. Mike Skinner in the 23 car. We haven't talked a lot about him, but he's a 2nd entrance for Bill Davis Racing, and he's right behind his teammate Scott Wimmer, just further ahead of him. And now look at the 66 Hermie Sadler. He restarted in the lead. He's back to the lead. Meanwhile, further back, I can just see Greg Biffle there. He's trying to catch up to Stuart Kirby, who's only gaining 5 miles an hour. But that, if he overtakes him, that will only be for 16th place. It's not good enough to make it into the show. Got 2 laps to go. Robbie Gordon led that lap. Hermie Sadler. Look at Jerry Robertson. Jerry Robertson goes down low into 1 and 2. And the man who restarted in 15th position is up into the lead. Oh, is he? Look at the 11 machine. Look at the 11 car of Jason Leffler. He was like a second back from this lead pack. And he's right up there in the hunt. He had the fast car in the first set, like the first half of the race. Here he is again. And he wants to win this thing. As that field comes off of turn 4, they're going to get the white flag. Meanwhile, Greg Biffle has went by Stuart Kirby. So that puts him in 16th position. But it might not be enough, though, as we've got the white flag lap. Now, unless if the drivers actually wreck on the last lap, and Greg Biffle gets through, oh, he's in. But at the moment, there's your 15 drivers that's going to be in. And Greg Biffle might not make the show because of his times that he did in practice and qualifying. So we already know that Mike Wallace is going to start third on the grid. Who's going to be alongside him? Will it be the 66, the 78, or the 11? In the middle of 3, into turn 4, out of turn 4 they go. Who is it going to be that's going to start 4th in the race? Looks like Leffler's just gone ahead. But across the start-finish line, it looks like it might be Jerry Robertson. Did he do it? Yes, he did. Jerry Robertson wins Gatorade Duel Race number 2. And what a surprise second row that we have. Tony Stewart on the pole, Rusty Wallace second, third will be Mike Wallace, and Jerry Robertson will start the Daytona 500 from position number 4. And the man that was on the bubble, well, there's all your 15 cars right here. There he is, Martin Truex Jr. He is in. Kevin Harvick's also in the Daytona 500. And I think by my reckoning as well, these drivers here, those 3 drivers in shot, are not making the Daytona 500. What an unbelievable turn of events this has been here for the Gatorade Duels. What a surprise second row we're going to have for Sunday's race. This is going to be so entertaining. Jerry Robertson won Gatorade Duel Race number 2. Jason Leffler, what a machine has he got in that there. He could be one to watch for the Daytona 500, but he just finishes in 2nd place. Robbie Gordon 3rd, Hermie Sadler 4th, Ryan Newman, Travis Quapple, he had to race his way in. He's got himself in the 500. Jeff Gordon, then Burton, Mike Skinner, and Bobby Labonte rounding out the top 10. Elliott Sadler, Scott Wimmer, Kevin Harvick, he too had to race his way in. He's done it, and he's going to start on the outside of row 14. Then it'll be Rusty Wallace and Martin Truex. Greg Biffle, Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, they're not going to make the 500 because Carl Edwards was faster than all 3 of them. And that's going to be nip and tuck with him as well. John Andretti, he might not make the show as well in position 20. Stuart Kirby, Derek Cope, Jeff Green, Kyle Petty, Mike Bliss, Scott Riggs, Johnny Majek, and Dale Jarrett also rounding out the last few cars on the grid. So there you have it then. So here is confirmation of how the Daytona 500 will look. Tony Stewart, we already know was on the pole. Rusty Wallace, we already know was going to start 2nd. Mike Wallace, the winner in Duel Race 1, will start 3rd. And Jerry Robertson will start 4th. Bobby Hamilton Jr. will start 5th. Jason Leffler, row 4. Robbie Gordon. And there you see your favourite drivers there. And then we can have a look at the fastest 12 drivers then who made it into row 16. Michael Waltrip is in. Scott Riggs is also in. Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Dale Jarrett, Jeremy Mayfield, Jeff Green, Matt Kenseth made it. Mike Bliss, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, and Carl Edwards. Those were the fastest 12 drivers that didn't make it into the top 15, but recorded the fastest times. And look at that. The drivers that have not qualified. Greg Biffle, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek, Kyle Petty. Big name drivers that are not making the Daytona 500. So there you go then, ladies and gentlemen. What an interesting 2 Gatorade Duel races we have witnessed there. Congratulations to the 2 winners, Mike Wallace and Jerry Robertson. Stay tuned because Sunday is going to be an all-out and out brawl. 100 laps around Daytona, and then we will finally crown ourselves a Daytona 500 champion. Until then, we'll see you on Sunday.